Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Brandon Lester Fishing. It is another beautiful fall day out here. A little bit foggy. Y'all can see I just put in. The sun's been up about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes this morning. But it should be a good day. I'm gonna try something a little bit different today. You know, that last video I showed about active target. You hear about forward facing sonar, live scope, active target. Seems like all you hear about in fishing these days. So today I wanted to kind of take a step back and fish kind of the way I grew up fishing, with live minnows and a slip bobber. It's a very effective way to catch a lot of crappie, kind of an old school way. So that's what I want to do a little bit today. It should be fun. I think we can catch some. Y'all stay tuned. All right, everybody, let's start by looking at my setup right here. Now, this is about as simple as it gets. All right, I've got a 6-foot rod. It's just a light action rod I use for crappie a lot. 2,500 size reel. I've got 8-pound vicious monofilament line. Just simple 8-pound mono. Okay, and then to set up this slip bobber rig, the first thing I do is I slide a bobber stop up on my line, just a simple bobber stop. You can get these anywhere. I use just the rubber kind that we use for bass fishing a lot to peg a Texas rig weight or something like that. You can get them about anywhere. All right, and then like I said, 8-pound mono. Then you slide on your slip float. This is just a regular old slip float. You can find them anywhere as well. And then I put a size 5 split shot. And then this is what I like to do. Now, you can do this a lot of different ways, but I'll tell you why I like to do it this way. I use a swivel, and I tie my 8-pound mono to that swivel, and then I come down off of that swivel with 6-pound fluorocarbon. And the reason I do that is because I want to use a bigger line on my main line than I do on my leader line, because if I get hung up, I want that leader line to break. That way I don't lose my bobber. So that's what I like to do. And then I just use a small Aberdeen style mustad hook. Nothing special there. I think that one is maybe a size 4, might be a size 2, I'm not sure. You just don't want one that's too big or too small. Just, you know, something about the right size for a crappie. And that, I mean, that's it. That's a very simple rig. And you know, the biggest thing that you've got to figure out is your depth. So we're gonna reach in here and we're gonna grab us a minnow. Now, the way I like to hook my minnows, I just like to come right up through his lip, come up through his bottom lip, come out his nostril on the top. Just make sure he goes through both lips. That keeps him good and lively. Don't hook him through the brain, he'll die. And you'll be good to go. Now, the way I set my depth, so I know I'm using a 6-foot rod. So if I put that bobber stop right out at the end of that rod, I can see right now my depth is probably set about 9 foot. In this particular treetop, you can see a brush pile right out here in front of me. And this particular brush pile is about 14 or 15 feet of water. And I want my depth to be set about 10 to 12 feet. So I'm gonna go just a little bit deeper. I'm gonna set my depth about 10.5 to 11 feet. And we're gonna cast that dude right out there. Now, with a slip bobber, when you cast it out, you wanna give it slack, because that line's still sinking, still sinking, still sinking, still sinking. All right, it's done sinking. And now we wait. And now, every now and then, I like to give that bobber just a little jiggle, just to kind of make it look like that minnow is doing something, trying to get away, whatever it may be. Uh-oh, here we go. There's the first fish of the morning. Is it gonna be a crappie? Yep, it is. Good crappie too. That's the thing about fishing with minnows. You'll catch a little bit of everything. But that's what we're after right there. Nice big old fat black nose. Start the morning. It's a pretty one. Probably 11 and a half, 12 inches. Probably all of 12 inches, I'd say. That's a pretty one. Let's get back in there and get another one. We're not gonna keep any today. Got plenty of fish. We're just gonna catch them and let them go. Have some fun with them. That didn't take too long. Oh, here we go. Got him. Another crappie. That's pretty cool because what's neat is there's some bluegill in there, and you can always tell the difference between a bluegill bite and a crappie bite. Because a crappie, most time you'll see that old bobber go boom, and then it'll just ease off. Where a bluegill, they'll sit there and bump, 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 bump. You know how they do. Anybody that's fished with a bobber, you know how they do. Another black nose, about the same size. He may be a little bit smaller, 11 and a half, 11 3/4. Good quality fish though. That's 2 this morning off of this first spot. I'm gonna see if I can get close enough. I don't know if y'all will be able to see them or not, but there's 3 otters. Look at those 2 right there. They got their heads popped up. There's all 3 of them. I'm gonna see if I can get close enough to them so y'all can see them. These little jokers are fast, man. They're running down the bank. I was fishing a treetop and there was a ton of fish in there, and I was wondering why I couldn't get a bite. Now I know why I couldn't get a bite, because there was dang otters in there. They're right here. There's one of them right there. Look, he just caught a fish. He's eating it. Oh my goodness. He caught a crawfish or a bluegill or something. Check him out. Look at there. Look at him eating that fish. Look at that. There's 3 of them. They're right here swimming around my boat. Ain't that something? Now let me tell y'all the truth about otters. What everybody, there they are right there. What everybody else probably won't tell you. Otters are terrible on the fish population. They eat the heck out of fish. I mean, eat the heck out of them. I'm talking about if they get in a pond, they will clean a pond out. So, yeah, they're pretty, but I may get crucified for this, but I don't really like them. But anyway, they're part of nature. Look, there's the other 2 right up there. They just popped up. They are pretty, and they're cool little creatures. They're just hard on the fish population, but I just thought I'd show y'all that. Here's one. That fish just grabbed it and sat still with it. And you'll find they do that sometimes. Just grabbed it, sat with it. I just saw my bobber doing something different. Now see, that fish has had it for a while too, because he swallowed the hook. Get me a pair of pliers. See if I can teach y'all something here. All right, I'm gonna go in through that fish's gills and I'm gonna grab the shank of that hook. And I'm gonna grab the eye of that hook and I'm gonna rotate it and just pop it right up out of his gills, just like that. And it just popped right out, see? And that fish is not harmed. He'll swim off just fine. He's not bleeding, he's not hurt. Y'all watch him go. Go ahead, boy. There he goes. A lot of times people leave a hook in fish's throats, and sometimes they'll come back from that, sometimes they won't, but if I can get that hook out, I'll always try to do so. That was crazy. That fish, he just grabbed that minnow and just sat still with it and didn't do anything. Didn't take it down. Nothing. It was crazy. one right there. Another one that just grabbed it and sat still with it. That's crazy. I don't know why they're doing that. Another good sized fish. No giants yet today, but all about the same size, 11.5, 12-inch crappie. There's one. Golly, another big one. Drifted right up on top of these fish. I need to get back off of them some. These are big ones. One little stump out here on this point. And there are some sows sitting on it, buddy. Get that big old black nose son of a gun. That's a pretty one right there too. That pound and 3/4 crappie right there. There's a fish. Big old crappie. And once again, that fish right there, I saw that bobber bump one time, and he just sat there and held it. That's a big one. Look at there, what a crappie. So we've got into some nice ones now. The last 3 I've caught have been very good fish. Big old black nose. Now normally by this time of the year they would have that big old gut on them. But what happened, we've had a little bit of cold weather and it cooled the water temperature down just a little bit, and then it's turned back warm again. So the water temperature, you know, even though it's going on second week of November, the water temperature is still 66 degrees, which is really warm for right now. Oh, there he goes. We got him. And it's a good one too. Not a giant one, but a dang nice one. Trying to be quiet, I got boats around me. Pretty fish. Let's get back in. There he goes. Got him. Good one. I'm trying to be quiet. I got 3 other boats around me and they're watching me. That's a pretty one. What do y'all think about that? These people see me throwing these crappie back, they'll think I've lost my mind. Oh, I just like to catch them. Yeah. All right, everybody, let's go wrap it up for today, man. It was a lot of fun. Caught some dang nice ones. Not a lot of bites, but here's the deal. I have noticed when you're fishing with minnows like that, you can't put your bait in front of as many fish in a day's time as you can with a jig. So if you're going for numbers, honestly, I think you're going to do better with a jig, and that's probably why I use a jig more often than not, because I just like feeling that thump and I like catching them. But I wanted to show you guys a more traditional way, maybe a way that's easier if you want to take a kid, you want to take your wife. Anybody can throw the slip bobber rig and can catch fish on the slip bobber rig. So it's a lot of fun. It's something I like to play around with, and if you're on one of those hard to get schools of crappie, a lot of times it'll get you a few more bites. But really appreciate you guys watching. If you hadn't yet, hit that subscribe button for me. I think like 80% of the people that are watching these videos are not subscribed, so if you would, hit it for me. It really helps the channel grow, not just for me, but for everybody. Let's all learn together. That's what this deal is all about. So appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you next time right here. Brandon Lester Fishing.